GoldSilver, Alan Hibbert here with another video. This time I want to bring up some libertarian principles using some examples from our brothers and sisters to the south, Argentina. First up, we have a tweet here. Breaking news. Argentina achieved a balanced budget in January for the first time in over a decade. A balanced budget. Man, have we ever had that in the United States? It's been many decades. President Javier Milei achieved it without congressional action by freezing spending at 2023 levels, cutting many agency budgets by over 50% in real terms. Wow, interesting. Another tweet here, very similar. Argentina sees first monthly budget surplus in 12 years. It took Libertarian President Javier Milei 9.5 weeks to balance the budget and create a surplus. 9.5 weeks. How did he do it so quickly? Well, there's a tweet from more than 9.5 weeks ago, about 3 months ago, where he explains what his plan is, and I want to play that clip for you right now.
Y deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resista.
Afuera, even if you resist. These are all the departments that just getting rid of them. Wow. Okay. So is he basically a dictator? Is he just coming in and changing everything? We could debate that. But basically, what he's doing is actually applying libertarian principles that have been theorized and discussed hypothetically for a long time. To give you an example, what I want to do is play another video from 25 years ago when Milton Friedman discussed exactly these principles as it applies to the United States, and he was discussing them in hypothetical terms. So let's look at that video.
I have a list here of the 14 cabinet departments. Now, 14 is a lot for television, so I want to just go right down the list quickly and have you give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Keep them or abolish them. Department of Agriculture.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Commerce.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Defense.
Keep.
Keep it. Department of Education.
Abolish.
Gone. Energy.
Abolish.
Housing.
Except that energy ties in with the military.
Well, then we shove it under defense.
That's
The little
right.
bit that handles the nuclear,
Right, that ought to go under
plutonium and
defense.
so forth goes under defense, but we abolish the rest of it. Health and Human Services.
There is room for some public health activities to prevent contagion, such a thing as, for example.
So you keep the National Institutes of Health, say, and the
No,
Center for Disease Control down
not
in
the
Atlanta?
National Institute.
Oh, no?
Oh, those are mostly research agencies. No, that's a question of whether the government should be involved in financing research.
And the answer is no.
Well, that's a very complicated issue, and it's not an easy answer with respect to that.
We'll eliminate half of the Department of Health
Yeah,
and Human
something
Services?
like that.
Okay, one half. There we go. Housing and Urban Development?
Out.
Oh, didn't even pause over that one. Department of the Interior?
Oh, well, but housing and urban development has done an enormous amount of harm. My God, if you think of the way in which they've destroyed parts of cities under the rubric of eliminating slums.
Jack Kemp.
You know, you remember, Martin Anderson wrote a book on the federal bulldozer, describing the effect of the urban development. There have been many more dwelling units torn down in the name of public housing that have been built.
Jack Kemp has.
Wow, so there have been more dwelling units torn down than there have been built. Okay, interesting. I haven't fact checked that, but the book, The Federal Bulldozer, may have more information. Interesting. So Milton Friedman goes on like this for a couple more minutes, going through each of the departments and explaining why. And basically, he gets to a few basic principles, basic functions of government that he outlines. And I want to summarize those for you now with one of his quotes. He says, government has three primary functions. It should provide for military defense of the nation. It should enforce contracts between individuals. It should protect citizens from crimes against themselves or their property, so property rights. When government, in pursuit of good intentions, tries to rearrange the economy, legislate morality, or help special interests, the cost comes in inefficiency, lack of motivation, and loss of freedom. To sum it all up, he says government should be a referee, not an active player. Interesting. Another one of Milton Friedman's quotes, one of the great mistakes is to judge policies and programs by their intentions rather than their results. There are so many people in government and just citizens who think that government policy should be established based on what they intend to do, not based on their results. And if we look at something like the federal bulldozer or something like in education, we realize that so many well-intended policies have actually backfired and hurt the very people and groups they were designed to help. So maybe it is time to look at the data and ask ourselves if certain cabinets or departments are really as effective as we think they are. Finally, I want to end with a tongue-in-cheek quote from Milton Friedman. If you put the federal government in charge of the Sahara Desert in 5 years, there'd be a shortage of sand. I love that one. So anyways, I want to invite each of you to share your thoughts in the comments section. Do you agree with these libertarian principles? Is there room for more government beyond what Milton Friedman or Javier Milei have established? Is the actions taken by Javier Milei dictatorial? Is there another way to go about it? Maybe he has the right strategy, but not the right tactics. This is something we need to discuss so that we can then implement it. So please share your thoughts in the comments. Please be civil. And thank you so much for being a part of the Gold Silver community.